Do you need executive level tax deductions? My name is Jake Mellor, and I am presenting at the 2024 Business Show in Los Angeles. You can come and hear me speak there to thousands of business owners, or you can reach out to my team and schedule a call. Either way, it's not too late for your 2024 executive level tax deductions. Have you heard about how this year in 2024 you can supercharge and leverage tax deductions so that you can end up with a lot more money than you otherwise would if you just paid taxes the normal way? Now, if you're interested in deferrals, exemptions, and deductions that can help you put money aside, increase your overall net worth, and profit share less with the government morally, ethically, and correctly, where should I invest today? Many of you millionaires out there are questioning, should I leave all of my money in the volatile market? Or what alternative investments exist where I can safely and securely mitigate my risks, invest my money, and get a higher than average rate of return that is more stable than the roller coaster of the stock market?
Carlsbad, California. Yourself? Northern Virginia. You? Boston. Orange County. Orange County. Very good. We got people here from California, from Boston, from Virginia, from where again? Virginia. And Carlsbad. Very good. Thank you for joining. Today we're going to talk a little bit about how, through my journey of helping clients of mine who are high tax-paying individuals profit share less with the IRS, legally, ethically, and morally, meaning that they're not breaking any laws. They just didn't know all the loopholes and all the rules well enough in order to pay less in taxes. So I'm talking about people who are paying minimum $250,000 or more. That means that they had gross income sometimes between $1 and $10 million. These individuals were accustomed, because of maybe the advice or the counsel that they've been receiving over the years, of paying hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes. I've been able to consult with them and their CPAs and show them how to pay less. Now, this usually comes after a free, no obligation review where we do an analysis or an assessment where we identify all the different areas that they're overpaying. After we do this, we have a period of implementation. I want to compare this period of implementation to the old idiom, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. What does that mean? A little bit of effort through the entire tax year will save you a lot more than post-tax season trying to make a lot of changes and adjustments. Most of these strategies for you to effectively take advantage of the opportunity, you have to plan ahead of time. So if you want a 2024 tax deduction, you're almost running out of time because we're almost out of the year. Things need to be done now proactively so that later on you can invest with me in any number of these wonderful projects that we have, whether it's international real estate, cannabis farm, or it could be commercial real estate whose main tenant is a casino, or it could be an agave plantation that has a distillery, a bottling and co-packing plant, a lab. Why would a distillery and a bottling co-packing plant and a food and beverage business need a lab? Well, think of a mad scientist in his laboratory, right? I mean, you're creating new things, and oftentimes it's beverages, not potions and curses and things, but beverages. That's right. Not just a brewery, but a distillery. A distillery for what? For tequila. In the state or province of Jalisco, Mexico. Okay. This particular business, we're looking at annualized rates of return minimum. That's if we don't do everything right, of 50% annually. Once we sell out from companies like Diageo in 5 years for $200 million. And individuals can invest with as little as $200,000, $100,000. And where do they get this $100,000 from? That's why they meet with us. We do an assessment. We evaluate all the different places they're spending taxes that they don't need to be. We free up that cash. We don't free it up by investing in tequila. No. We invest in tequila because it's a great, fantastic investment, but we free up the money that they would have otherwise budgeted to pay taxes with through these high-end or what I would call executive level tax strategies. So a little bit different, right? Helping people increase their net worth by reducing legally what they owe the IRS through their hard-earned money and cash. And then at the same time, I'm helping to turbocharge their net worth or plant some seeds that end up growing into redwoods with these investments at early stages of different projects. When I say early stages, I'm not talking C, I'm talking Series A. So the biggest risk in any project is not after it's been proven. The biggest risks are in the beginning when it's an idea and you need to bring this idea to fruition and you need to prove the concept. So for example, the tequila business, for 2 years, it was an idea that we were implementing. Now that we've proven the concept, now we're shipping to Texas. We've made it a reality. Now there's the Series A investment opportunity so that investors can put fuel in the tank and help us get into all 50 states, not just Texas. Okay. So these are some of the things that we do. AlphaMark Capital, what does AlphaMark Capital do? We have a little billboard right here. You can scan it. You can find out more. We are a due diligence firm and an investing firm. We invest my money. Usually to get, and some of my clients that are closest to me, we get projects from the idea phase to the reality phase. We prove them along the way. And then now we're ready. Now that we've mitigated a lot of the risk along the way and we found solutions to problems, we've proven the concept. Now we're ready for investors like you to step in and invest with a calmer mind. Meaning you can rest assured that this is not, we're not moving the path. The path has been paved. And we found a solution. We mitigate those risks. We know how to do this again and again and again. And the trick is just now that we've gone into one state, going into another 12 states. There's these 13 magical states in the liquor business. Once you're in those states, you pretty much have the door open in all 50. Okay. By the way, for all of you who just got here, my name is Jake Mellor, and I represent about 4 or 5 businesses that are here. So why do I represent so many? First and foremost, our mainstay occupation, what we do for other people as a service, is we provide high-level tax strategies, executive-level tax planning. So if you're a taxpayer paying $250,000, $300,000 or more every year because you have over $1 million of income, oftentimes your CPA will introduce you to someone like me. You sit down with you and your CPA. I'm not your day-to-day person, right? I just come in as like the brain surgeon. You do the operation that will save your life or save you hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes, right? It's going to be your normal CPA that does your annual filings, your accounting, and everything else. With that business, Strategic Tax Solutions, we freed up a lot of money that people otherwise had budgeted to pay the IRS. Oftentimes, not always, it's their choice, they then decide to increase their net worth by investing with us. We have a number of domestic real estate opportunities as well as international real estate opportunities. Some of our real estate opportunities have turned into something much more. Let me talk about Casino Zortea really fast. If we come over here, not too close to the speaker, you can scan this QR code and learn more about how a bank repoed property, third level or third floor in a shopping center, we were able to acquire it 27 cents on the dollar. We found out that instead of turning it into a bowling alley, we could activate a license that came along with the property as a use permit. Kind of like California with a liquor license, but in the country of Colombia, in the city of Medellin, the city of Eternal Spring, where it's always springtime weather, they no longer give out casino permits. So suddenly, the real estate that we bought 27 cents on the dollar became worth so much more. Because if we turn it into a casino, it's worth a lot more than just a bowling alley, simply because it has this permit to be a casino and they don't give out any more of those. All right. We've now been open a year and a half. We're getting offers from a lot of casino chains, but for some reason or another, and I'm not really sure why, but for some reason or another, we've landed to become number 1 or number 2 of the city, a city of over 3 million people, where there's another million or so tourists at any given time. We've been able to land out of 200 casinos, number 1 or number 2, simply because we implemented Las Vegas style customer service in a country that was not big on service. Now all the players want to come to our casino. Fantastic, right? We have a huge opportunity where we don't want to only be number one in the city, but number one in the country. In order to do that, we need more space. We need more slot machines. We need just a few more things. We now have the opportunity in this shopping center to buy the neighboring units. There's one owner of the 4 neighboring units that are all adjacent to ours. And with the casino license, it's like Legos. If it's adjacent, we can add it on. So we have a huge opportunity to buy out the neighboring real estate and expand and become the number 1 casino in the country. That's why we're here, talking to investors, talking about investment opportunities, and talking about how you too can own real estate in a foreign country in a tax efficient way, receive your dividends back into the US, and of course make higher than average rate of return. Where we have already gone through and paved the path to mitigate the currency exchange risk, political risk, and a number of other risks inherent with investing out of the country. So for more information, please scan the QR code. Now, this brings me to another wonderful and fantastic project. And it's not just tequila. Everybody sees the tequila bottles and they think it's just another brand, whatever. There's 6,000 tequila brands out there. But the magic thing is, of those 6,000 brands, there's only 44, that's 4 distilleries that are legal to produce tequila with a no in the country of Mexico in those provinces where it's allowed to make tequila. So our business is not a tequila business. Our business is food and beverage, where in the food and beverage business, we have a number of different investments in a package deal, all under a company, a US corporation called Tequila Master Solutions. This company you can invest in US dollars, and we have operations and we have assets in Mexico and the US. In Mexico, we have very important contracts for agave and for the land with agave. We have agave that we in the future are able to sell to other producers of tequila. But owning it allows us to have what's called estate grown agave, which is really important for being able to control from A to Z the quality of your product that you're producing. Now, what are the other letters in the alphabet? Now, what are the other chains in the link? We have the agave. We have access to 2 distilleries. Very unique. We have the bottling and co-packing facilities to where we control what goes into our bottles and how our bottles are handled and the quality of the juice, as well as, once it's sealed and it has that little tax stamp on it, where it goes in the US and everywhere else that we're going to ship it to. We have a future plan of not only shipping it through the US, which is where 70% of all tequila sales occur, eventually exporting it to Colombia, where we have other businesses, and as the next country, Dubai. We have very strong ties with very important people, and they really want our tequila. Now, as the next country, we're talking with people in New York right now who have very strong contacts with the consulate of India, and India is not a big connoisseur of tequila yet, but they are moving in the direction of health. Now, why is that important? Our product, our tequila product, our flagship product, which is called OTP, which is one true pairing. Think of like wine, pairing your wine with food. One true pairing, edition eclipse. What is an eclipse? It is when the sun and the moon align, or symbolic of the man and the woman in marriage. Also symbolic of business relationships where everything just comes together and meets perfectly. People drink bourbon, people drink fine whiskey when big business deals happen. In the future, something a little bit more healthy, less sugars added, less of all these other things added, 100% agave tequila, where the process is controlled from A to Z. People, the trend of the tequila market is going towards everything that I'm telling you and how and why we made our tequila. This is going to be something that people consume because they enjoy it, not just consume in shots to get drunk like they do at the parties, right? This is an enjoyable, pleasurable, wonderful experience type of beverage. And that is where the industry is going. And that's also where the country is towards beverages and liquors, which often comes from the Orient, from Japan, from wherever else they come and are sold there in India. We feel that, again, as the 5th country that we enter, that this will be a big hit in India. Okay. Anyway, we do have several samples. So don't leave, don't go running away. But we have a great opportunity to help you not only visualize what we have here as tequila, I want you to know that it is very important. People purchase tequila, a new brand, for the first time because of two reasons. One of them has to do with marketing and the visualization. Is it a pretty bottle? Does it catch my eye? Is it better looking than what I normally buy and take home? So they'll risk it once if the price is also right. So people are very price conscious when trying a new thing. And they're more willing to purchase it if what they mentally are comparing it to, it's a good price. So we're going to enter the market. Each bottle has a different market. We're going to enter the market comparative to who we feel the juice is comparative to, just under their price. After we gain market share, because people purchase a second time for a different reason. The first time it's a risk, willing to take the risk if the price is there, the bottle and everything else, the experience looks good. It looks good. The second purchase is, well, it has to taste good. It has to have been a good experience. So there are other people out there, famous actors, other individuals that own like online platforms, not mentioning any names. They might have a wonderful wine bottle. Very famous individual that had his own wine. It's terrible, horrible. Everybody bought it once. Nobody has bought it twice, just about. So to avoid the future death of your business in the liquor and alcohol industry, it has to be a good experience. It has to do something for them that accomplishes their expectations. If it's, I get drunk fast, that's an expectation. Some people buy stuff to do that. Other people, and where we're heading in this direction is 100% agave. For most people, this does not give you a hangover because it doesn't have all the sugars and different things added to it. And it's 100% agave. 60% of the tequila industry is not 100% agave. Thinking of certain tequila beverages that are very inexpensive in the United States, it's 51% agave, 49% other stuff. And that absolutely does give you a hangover. Anyway, I think I've talked a lot about tequila. You might think that I'm a big fan, right? Anyway, a lot of people are. It's even better when you own part of the company, which is why I invite everybody out there who's an accredited investor or a qualified client. If you are interested in something that is very unique, that is entering into a very competitive market, but because of its uniqueness, stand apart from everybody else and have an excellent chance based on projections, market data that will give or provide a 54% rate of return year after year after year until we have an exit, possibly in 5 years. This is a fantastic opportunity. One of the unique things that I want to actually talk about, this bottle right here will actually have a different top on it. This bottle, commercialized in the United States, nothing like it exists. What is special about this bottle? Tequila is a little bit different than a lot of other liquors. You might find like a 23-year-old whiskey or a 40-year-old wine, especially after the pandemic when a lot of liquor sales doubled. Tequila aged in a barrel for longer than 3 years. Let's go a little bit further. Let's say 5 years. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Does not exist. There might be some small regional brands that maybe entered one state that might be older than that, whatever, but commercialized and available in every single state. 12-year tequila does not exist anywhere. We will be providing 12-year, 14-year, 15-year tequila and make it available to the public. One of our competitors will be some of the big names, Classy Azul, Ultra Black. Their Ultra Black version retails for around $2,700, $2,800. This bottle, which in my opinion, try it out for yourself, is a better experience, will retail for around the same. And then of course, as we gain market share, increase in value. From a business standpoint and from talking margins and investment opportunity, let's just say it's hard to find another company in the liquor industry that is positioned better. Okay, I'm going to just run through a few slides very quickly, and then we'll do Q&A. In fact, we've ran out of time for more presentation because we only have 10 minutes left. And so I first want to see if there's any questions before I go into slides.
You could say a little bit about how you actually save the taxes for people. I thought this was the main topic here.
I will. Okay. So to begin with, we do an analysis. We find out where you are, what industry you're in, what you've done so far. Most people that come to me have already done some level of tax planning, and that's really good. Because what we want is that you're not just waiting around until tax season to file your taxes, but you're being proactive throughout the year to see what you need to change, to see what you need to do, how you should move money around. You don't want to be vague, but some of it is as easy as moving money from your left pocket to your right pocket, where you now qualify for a deduction, a deferral, or an exemption. And sometimes all three. Sometimes it's as easy as setting up a new corporation where your primary business that makes all the money and gets the big tax hit is able to legally transfer funds throughout the year to this other corporation, or you're able to hold it in case of a business rainy day. You're legally allowed to hold it there. Now you can hold it there in a savings account, you can invest in other things, whatever, but it's there. It's arm's length from you. You're able to do that and deduct 100% of that this year. Now in the future, if you take money out of this company, which is the goal, right? To move money, grow it, and then now this is part of your estate, or this is another asset of yours, or maybe you want to use the cash for something else. That's fine. At some point, it's going to be taxed. But the wonderful thing here is we are changing the characterization of the tax status. Most of the time in your operating business, sir, let's say that you're an attorney. Because I just spoke to an attorney yesterday. He makes $3 million. We talked to her about this strategy. She's going to reduce her tax liability by over $800,000 in tax, simply by doing this strategy and one other. Literally, that's all it is. Moving money from her operating business to another corporation that we set up, and we do the exemption filings, all these other things. She gets a recharacterization of tax status. She gets an immediate deduction and a deferral to the future. What would normally be taxed as ordinary income now is not only deferred in the future, takes it out and be taxed as capital gains. So you get there with today's tax rate, an immediate 17% arbitrage. Immediately. But most people, when they access it in the new company in the future, they access it as a shareholder loan, where there's no taxes. They just leave it in the other corporation, let it grow. And when they sell their current business, they can keep the corporation, which is a cash-centric business. And after so many years, you can invest in liquid assets, you can do hard money lending, you can buy real estate, you can invest in a casino, you can invest in a tequila business. All of these different things you're allowed to do because it's your money. It's just held in a different corporation and it's held in reserve in case of a business rainy day because of your current business operations. That's one strategy. I have a list of 423 strategies. I have consulted with CPA firm associations where I am a subject matter expert and I help them with these high-level strategies. Some of them are custom. Some of them only work for certain industries. Some of them work for almost any business that has income over $1 million.
It's not just for people. It's not just for individuals. It's for companies too.
The question is, it's not just for individuals, it's for companies too. I'll tell you that the vast majority of the 423 strategies are for businesses and not for individuals. The reverse. 93 of them are for individuals as well. And I would say that the vast majority of everybody qualifies for at least 20 of them. But that doesn't mean that we're going to do 20 for you. So it'll be overboard. Most people with a handful of strategies were able to significantly decrease by over 50% what you currently have as a tax obligation. Big question from the front row. What is the minimum income qualification for to meet with me? It's not an income qualification. It's more how much are you paying in taxes right now? So the minimum that you're currently paying in taxes to sit down with me, unless you're from a close personal friend or whatever, is $250,000 in taxes. You're currently spending $250,000 in taxes. You get a free 30 minutes of my time. We sit down and we analyze what can be done in your situation. And oftentimes my clients, because half of 250,000 is more than 100,000, right? My goal is to easily save everybody over $100,000. And oftentimes we're saving more than that. So oftentimes it's not just 100, but closer to 70 or 80% of what their current tax liability is. For companies that have liquidity and are able to move money around in the year of and not wait until next year. And a lot of times we are building assets for you at the same time. We're optimizing current strategies that you're currently doing, saving you more money based on what you already knew. And in addition to what you already knew, there are things that you don't know. Things that your CPA doesn't know. Maybe that your CPA has heard of, but they never done themselves. If your CPA has not done these tax strategies for over 100 different clients already, they probably will not offer it to you. Too much of a risk for them to do something new. Whereas these higher level strategies that some of your CPAs have heard of but have never done, I do every day. And so because I do it all the time, I can take the professional risk of lending you my knowledge and giving you advice. Does that make sense? Especially if your CPA is not the owner of the firm, if they're just a staff account or one of the junior partners, they're not going to do something for you that the firm does not already do for 100 other clients. So there's going to be a lot of CPAs out there say, no, we don't do that here at this firm. We will no longer file your tax return. They won't take the risk. Whereas I actually give presentations to CPA groups on how to do things the right way at this high level.
There's risk when you do it.
The comment is there's really not risk when you're doing it all the time. I won't say that there's not risk, but if you're doing it all the time, you should know the ins and the outs and the right way to do it. I mean, it's just like spelling. You know how to spell it, right? Because you've done it. Somebody from another country, speaking another language, coming here and trying to spell English for the first time, it would be hard. But where I do it every day, I know how to do it. It comes with experience and training, as well as who learns the most. And in a classroom, it's the teacher. Where I'm out there coaching and training CPAs all the time, I get questions that I've never had before, and I have to come up with the right answer, not just verbally, but with supporting documentation. So that's a little bit about me and who I am. Because I've done this for a long time and I've been very successful, and I've invested my own money in other deals where I also try to optimize the tax ramifications, right? Did you know that if you, as a foreigner, invest in the country of Colombia, the new president in the country of Colombia instituted a 35% withholding tax on all foreign dividends? Bummer. Most people just take the hit because they're making so much money off of the investments in Colombia anyway. But we avoid that. Having worked with tax attorneys in the US and in Colombia, we have a mechanism that allows us to send money home without that withholding. Because what happens with the withholding, if you don't have any other businesses there with taxes offset with that withholding, well, it becomes a tax. They're not going to send it to you. It's withheld and you're never going to get it unless you have other businesses there in the country. So for US investors, we optimize even your foreign income taxes or your foreign taxes that would otherwise hit you. Other questions? That was a long answer. I want to hear if the nice lady in the back row has a question. Okay, very good. Santos, will you come up here, please? I want to introduce Santos. It's very important when you are investing in other countries that you have local experts. I want to talk about Santos just really fast because he not only is a local expert, he is a CPA in Mexico who has worked all of his life in the tequila business. He was a CPA where the COO of the company, one of the companies, no longer could perform his job. And Santos, on the finance side, the numbers guy, had to get his hands dirty and go into operations. So he's a numbers guy that knows how to do stuff in the tequila world. Go right ahead. A numbers guy that got his hands dirty, became the COO. How could he become more well-rounded? He went and got a master's degree in tequila. Now he's not only a master tequilero, but every day he trains his tongue as well. And what do I mean by that? Your palate. A sommelier with wine, there's a similar word for that in the world of tequila. And Santos is a taste profile expert. He not only can tell you where tequila is coming from or what barrels it has been in, he can help you create a new beverage. So in our food and beverage industry, or businesses, or portfolio or package of businesses, Santos is incredibly important. Today, I spent a lot of time talking about me. When you are building companies internationally, you have to have the right people on the team. So I might be able to bring a lot of money to the table from people that were saving them lots of money in their tax liabilities, right? But we need good people to spend in such a way that it becomes a good investment. So that's my last message to everyone here, is that when you are choosing where to put your money, look at the person you're putting it with and where do they put their money, as well as who do they have around them. If something were to happen to them, who is going to take care of you afterwards? And I invite all of you to learn more, Scan the QR codes. Feel free to reach out and be in touch. And thank you again for being here in Los Angeles. We've got good weather outside, so go enjoy or come enjoy with us a nice beverage. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye now.
Do you need executive level tax deductions? My name is Jake Mellor, and I'm presenting at the 2024 Business Show in Los Angeles. You can come and hear me speak there to thousands of business owners, or you can reach out to my team and schedule a call. Either way, it's not too late for your 2024 executive level tax deductions. Have you heard about how this year in 2024 you can supercharge and leverage tax deductions so that you can end up with a lot more money than you otherwise would if you just paid taxes the normal way? Now, if you're interested in deferrals, exemptions, and deductions that can help you put money aside, increase your overall net worth, and profit share less with the government morally, ethically, and correctly, where should I invest today? Many of you millionaires out there are questioning, should I leave all of my money in the volatile market? Or what alternative investments exist where I can safely and securely mitigate my risks, invest my money, and get a higher than average rate of return that is more stable than the roller coaster of the stock market?